What's up, y'all? MARKEE KEEZ here. About to do a little reading of my book. I got that little reading of my book. Read a little something out of it, I guess. So what do we have so far? Detective Jones asked his partner, Detective Patterson. We don't get much, but we got enough to connect the dots, Detective Patterson replied. Word on the streets is Crystal Lake is responsible for the murders of the Reed brothers, Detective Patterson said to his partner. For what I'm hearing, there's a couple of guys calling themselves the Crystal Lake Boys, Detective Patterson said, now shaking his head. Crystal Lake Boys? Who the fuck is that? Detective Jones almost screamed at his partner. I'm pretty sure they're behind the two bodies on 9th and Oxford. Also, Detective Patterson cut back in, trying to calm Detective Jones down. Oh shit, here come Captain Houston. Captain Houston was feeling the heat hard from the recent homicides in the city. So when the higher-ups jump on him about it, he, in return, jump on the guys under him. So what do we have on the Reed brothers? Captain Houston asked them both. I need some answers. Detective Patterson then gathered his paperwork, then proceeded to give Captain Houston what he had so far. So, Cap, we were just going over what we had on the Crystal Lake Boys. Detective Patterson stopped, looked at Captain Houston, then continued. We got information that a couple of kids from the infamous section of North Philadelphia are calling themselves the Crystal Lake Boys. Detective Patterson paused. Then Detective Jones jumped in. Word on the streets is that the so-called Crystal Lake Boys are responsible for the two bodies found on 9th and Oxford. Detective Jones said, looking at the paperwork for a second. Then he continued. My CI tells me that there is a war going on between the Crystal Lake Boys and the 10th Street Projects. Detective Jones was about to continue, but Captain Houston cut him off. Hold up. So who the hell are the Crystal Lake Boys? Both Detective Jones and Detective Patterson looked at each other. Then Detective Jones gathered some more paperwork, looked at it for a second, then said, we looking on some names now. We working on some names now, Cap. We should have a report ready for you by the end of the week, sir. Y'all two better have something. I want names ASAP. If we got two motherfuckers running around killing people, then y'all got work to do. Get off your asses and get it done, Captain screamed at them both. I need results, fellas, Captain said before walking off. Both detectives shook their heads. What the fuck his fat ass think we doing all day? Detective Jones whispered as he grabbed his coat. They both walked out of the station. Now that scene is a little detective scene I had put together. Yeah, man. And they just trying to figure it out, figure out what's going on, who doing what, who what. Trying to put some faces with some names and some names with some faces. And they doing their job. They detectives, they cops. I ain't mad at the cop for doing his job. You know what I mean? But let me know how y'all feel about that scene. You know what I mean?